Howdy, boys and girls, and welcome to a very special Bowlapalooza edition of the Carla and Crappy Show. Of course, we have Carla, who's got a thing on her head, which is because it's her birthday. Hi, Carla. Happy birthday.
Hi, Crappy. Thank you.
We are also we are significantly raising the level of expertise on the show. Of course, you know that Carla has been an actual sports writer at different points in her career. I play the role of the deranged, misinformed fan on our show. We are joined today by Braden, Gall, and David Fox, who are actual sports writers and sports broadcasters. You can read them at athlonsports.com or in the pages of the various Athlon publications. You can hear them, among other places, on Athlon's excellent Cover 2 podcast, something that Carla's turned me on to this football season. And they beat up on Ohio State a lot, which makes me sad, but it's probably deserved. Guys, Braden and David, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, Carla.
Thanks, Braden. Nice earphones. I like those.
It's all right. My earphones can beat up all of your earphones.
That's true.
I think your studio could beat up all of our studios put together as well. It's a pretty impressive thing you got there over your shoulder.
Shameless promotion.
That's no problem at all. We're gonna do something a little bit different here. Rather than try to get through all 87 bowl games in one show, we've asked everybody to pick a game that is of interest for one reason or another. And because it's Carla's birthday, we're going to let her go first. She picked the Little Caesars. I can't believe we have to travel to Detroit Bowl. This is a matchup between my local team, the Pittsburgh Panthers, versus MAC champion Bowling Green. BG is favored by 6 in this game, and Carla, we're going to let you start. Why on earth did you want to pick this game?
Why did I want to pick this game? Because I think Pitt is probably the only team on the face of the planet that is happy to be going to Detroit simply because it is not Birmingham. You have to feel bad. You have to feel bad for those Pitt seniors who have had Birmingham, Detroit. That's a bowl schedule for you. If I've ever seen it.
That's awful.
Yeah, really. There's really only a couple things we need to know about this game. The one thing you need to know about Pitt happened this week, and actually, your lovely publication there, Crappy, covered this with Javon Henry.
Right.
Scorning the local team Pitt and going to WVU. To me, that says everything I need to know about Pitt right now, really. Mm-hmm. The local boy, I mean, Beaver County has a huge tie to Pitt. I can run down the laundry list of... Exactly, Aliquippa and Beaver Falls. Darrell Rivas, Tony Dorsett, Ty Law, shall we go on. And the fact that he chose WVU over Pitt, tells me that program isn't exactly where it needs to be right now. And they're playing in Detroit. Bowling Green, impressive against NIU. Shut down Jordan Lynch, which was pretty impressive. They've got to be happy to be playing in this game, so I'm going to give the edge to I'm going to go with that line. I like Bowling Green to beat off or to knock off Pitt.
That does sound about right. Braden, your thoughts about the Detroit Derby here?
Well, Bowling Green's certainly better than people probably gave them credit for throughout the course of the season, and the way they played, certainly on Friday night against Northern Illinois, a lot of momentum for them. And Pitt, the problem is with these type of matchups is you gotta look at the line of scrimmage, and generally speaking, the big boys have the edge there. So I will respectfully disagree. I'll go Pitt Panthers. Why not?
Okay, David.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Braden there and take Bowling Green because Bowling Green has the best defense in the MAC, and line of scrimmage play. Tom Savage has been sacked more than any quarterback, I think, this season, and certainly more than any other quarterback the last few years, whether he's been at Rutgers or Pitt. So whether it's the line of scrimmage or the fact that he can help himself from getting tackled, I'm going to go ahead and take Bowling Green, who's excited to be in Detroit.
God, absolutely. I mean, if you're the MAC champion, you're excited to go to Detroit. As sad as that sounds, I've seen enough Pitt football. This is a team that tends to play to its competition unless it's completely overwhelmed, as it was, like, say, against Florida State in the season opener. And I was impressed by Bowling Green in the times that I've seen them, mostly in the shutting down Jordan Lynch in Northern Illinois in the MAC championship game. And as Carla said, I think that line sounds about right. Bowling Green favored by 6. That sounds good to me. I'm going to go with BG in that one. We're going to go next to a St. Petersburg, Florida. I couldn't come up with an alternate name for this bowl game because it just is silly enough as it stands. The Beef O'Brady's Bowl. That's a chain of restaurants in Florida, the sports bar. This is the game that features my alma mater, Ohio University, against East Carolina. I probably should pick OU just out of loyalty. But East Carolina is favored by 13.5 points, and actually that sounds about right. OU's goes in this game at 7-5. When I was in school, that would have been nothing short of a miracle. This year is kind of a disappointment because the Bobcats had some inexplicably horrible games mid to late season. I don't see OU's defense being able to keep up with the Pirates. And I think that line sounds about right. East Carolina is going to win this one and win it pretty heftily. Carla, what do you see here?
Oh, you're throwing it to me. That means that my one stat that I wrote down isn't going to get stolen by somebody else. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate that because I knew absolutely nothing about East Carolina. So I had to go look up. They had a nice season. They beat NC State convincingly. Ohio, I was up on them in the preseason. If you go back and watch our preseason show, I said that Ohio might have been Louisville's best competition. Boy, was I wrong on that one. That's why I don't do this professionally anymore. But Ohio inconsistent. They either win big or they lose big. They win by 30 or lose by 30. So I'm with you on this one. I'm going to say ECU wins.
Okay. Braden, what do you see here?
No offense to the best Halloween party this side of Madison, Wisconsin.
Dude, that's all we really care about. That's fine.
The bottom line is I dated a girl that went to Ohio, and she was a terrible person, so I'm going to go with East Carolina.
I met my wife
at
Ohio
kidding.
University,
it's not a joke.
So it's not completely awful. David, what do you see here?
Well, it's tough to top that one, but I like East Carolina. They've had a good season, good couple seasons under Ruffin McNeil. Ohio was a major disappointment this year. East Carolina beat 2 ACC teams, North Carolina, NC State, and have one of the underrated quarterbacks in the country in Shane Carden. So I'm going to go ECU. I think that's a pretty easy pick.
More importantly, though, do you agree with my analysis of my ex-girlfriend?
Sure. This is sure. I'll just agree on that one.
Braden, and I will agree with your assessment of the Halloween party at OU. I need to go back and do that again sometime. Yeah. I'm way too old, but it's something that I miss desperately every fall.
I am just impressed that we managed to get 2 Maction references into this show.
Absolutely, that's fine. We can't do any better than that. David, you're up next with the Royal Purple Las Vegas Lounge Lizard Bowl, Fresno State, and Southern Carolina. SC is favored in the neighborhood of 5 or 5.5 points to the lines I've seen. David, start us off. What do you see going on here?
Yeah, well, you got to like a bowl game whose sponsor is also a crayon. So I like that one.
I would stop there.
Yeah, but Fresno State, Derek Carr's had a great year. They asked him to do a lot, and he still completed 70% of his passes, going up against a defense full of NFL guys. So this is a chance for Derek Carr to really prove something against that defense. And I want to see if USC is going to be motivated this year. Last season, I think it was not only one of the great season flops we've ever had with USC, but one of the best. One of the biggest bowl flops in losing to Georgia Tech and kind of embarrassing themselves all bowl week even before game day. So that's a good game, and I think it's the second bowl game of the year, or it's on the second day of bowl season. So halfway decent matchup on in the early pre-Christmas bowls.
Braden, what do you see for the Lounge Lizard Bowl?
Well, it's difficult to top the analysis there. I mean, Derek Carr has had a tremendous season. I think he belongs in New York, if I don't mind saying, though, instead of Jordan Lynch. But 2 teams that traditionally, at least recently, as he pointed out, haven't been all that great in the bowl season. So the scholarship limitations for USC. Do they get healthy over the next month? A lot of extra practice time, a new coaching staff. I mean, all that stuff. So I'll take the guy with the guy who threw for like a bazillion yards and 87,000 touchdowns. I'll take the offense that's stable right now. But it should be an interesting game. I like the pick there, D-Fox.
This will be a good one. Carla, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with both of you on this one so far. You have to question USC's motivation coming into this game after kind of the way things ended there with the Orgeron era ending and the players being upset, and what's their motivation to come in and play for this game. And Fresno, we were up on Fresno again, in the preseason, and they delivered, and they had a great season. And so I definitely, it's a strength on strength. It's USC's defense against Fresno's offense, but why not? Let's root for the little guys in this one. Let's go Fresno.
Okay. I did when Carla and I did our preseason shows. I did pick Fresno State as my BCF buster. I didn't quite get there. But this is an interesting matchup, and I'm going to make this number 4. I think Fresno State will be in a position to take advantage of a USC team that is getting used to a new coaching staff, just really up and down, wide swings at the end of the year. I think Fresno State's going to be in a good position to take advantage of that and win itself a postseason game. We wrap up with the Chick-fil-A Never on a Sunday Bowl. This is Duke versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is favored by 11.5. Braden, this was your pick, so we're going to let you get started here.
Well, any chance I can call it the Peach Bowl and just completely ignore a corporate sponsor, I'd like the opportunity to do that. No, I think it's a traditionally really cool bowl game and two normally pretty good opponents. And, nothing says the holidays and New Year's and tradition and college football like the Duke Blue Devils and the Texas A&M Aggies. So throw out the records literally because they've never played before. So I'll take, Johnny Manziel Heisman Trophy winner versus, National Coach of the Year, who I think should be runaway National Coach of the Year with all due respect to Gus Malzahn. And, great defense against a great offense. I like that matchup as well. It should be really fascinating. Duke's that team that the little engine that could, but last week or against Florida State, we saw that they don't exactly have the horses, so it'll be tough to stop Manziel. But Heisman Trophy winner against Duke defense, I like that. Should be fun to watch. So I'll take A&M, but either way, it's just pageantry of Duke and A&M is astounding.
Carla, what do you think here?
I mentioned this last week when we were talking about the Duke-Florida State game, and that the only way that Duke had a chance to win last week was to hold its opponent to hold Florida State to less than 20 points, because that's how it wins. Obviously, that didn't happen. Florida State had 27 heading into the half, something like that. I really don't see the Duke defense being able to stifle that A&M offense any better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I totally agree that that's kind of a lackluster matchup. Usually, the Chick-fil-A Bowl is one that you definitely want to tune in for. I think this one might be tuning in for just the sake of that, we're distraught college football fans on New Year's Eve and need something to watch. But yeah, I think this time the only way Duke wins this game is if Manziel wins the Heisman again, because it's got to be the Heisman curse. That's the only A&M.
Okay, David, what do you see?
I'm gonna break with everybody else and say that Duke makes it a game, because I think this is one of those bowl games where one of the teams might come in with a little bit less motivation. I think you see that every year in a handful of bowl games where a team shows up and is just kind of going through the motions. And A&M thought they were going to contend for the SEC and contend for the national championship. And you take an interception-prone quarterback, which Johnny Manziel has been to a degree this year against a team like Duke that has, I think, 11 interceptions in their last 6 games. That's not a good recipe, especially since Duke's going to be thrilled that John Swofford strong-armed the Peach Bowl into taking them. So I think Duke's going to make it a game. I don't know if they're going to win it, but I think they'll make it a bigger game than it was against Florida State, who had everything to play for.
Are you suggesting that Johnny Manziel is thinking about other things right now in his career?
Yeah, speaking of things,
no.
Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday. Perhaps Johnny Manziel is not active on Sunday. I don't know.
That could be.
Ooh.
That could be. David, I would love it if you were right. And actually, I think you make some excellent points about the motivation of the two teams that are playing in that game. I would love to see a great game, but even if it is a tighter game than we expect, boy, I think A&M is going to be a tough thing for Duke to overcome. Guys, I wanted to thank everybody for joining us for our first official Bowlapalooza. I hope you enjoyed the college football bowl game gorging as much as I know Carla and I do. Thank you once again for joining us, Carla. Thank you, and happy birthday once again.
Thank you as
Happy
always.
birthday!
Not a single BCS bowl
where'd
picked.
Matera go?
That's
It's because they don't matter.
exhibitions are exhibitions.
Yeah, right. Guys, of course, as I said before, you can find Braden and David all over athlonsports.com, and do check out the Cover 2 podcast. They do an excellent job there, even if they crush Ohio State every chance they get. And thank you guys for joining us once again. We will, Carla and I will talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks for having us.
Yep, appreciate it.
Bye.
So like my facial reaction when Carla said somebody's gonna beat off somebody else is not gonna show up.
if there was an audible
slip.
Yep, that was great.
It was awesome. I couldn't believe Fox didn't even react at all.
I reacted.
My face was like, whoa.